Seven-figure squad, seven-figure squad. We don't stop, we multiply. Seven-figure squad, run it up, we raise the bar. Seven-figure squad, play finesse, we go far. Seven-figure squad, who are we? Seven-figure squad, what we do? Run it up, run it up. Who are we? Hey, seven-figure squad, what we do? Run it up, run it up. Started from zero, got God in the plan, yo. Now I'm counting blessings, got wealth in my hand. Used to dream small, not a mindset grand. Now I move like a boss, not a flash in the gram. It's a squad, not a clique, it's a mission with a vision. We building seven figures, not just flexing for attention. Faith in the grind, purpose in the hustle. I don't chase cash, I attract it through muscle.
All right, let's get something straight right now. We are living in the middle of a money crisis, a moral crisis, and a leadership crisis. And most people are out here still praying for a harvest without ever planting seeds. So let me hit you with some truthuses. Amazon's laying off about 15,000 people. Some people say 30,000. How? Replaced by artificial intelligence. I just talked to a former top collegiate athlete, and he has a similar experience to a video we're going to be sharing here, that he's now working at a warehouse job just to make ends meet. He was rocking the arena, he was rocking the stadium, but now he's pushing a pallet. And he looked me in the eye and said, nobody prepared us for life after the spotlight. Master P just admitted there's no real money in the music industry anymore. What? Cash money? The labels? The vultures are feeding on broke dreamers. Pastor reached out to me last week, and we were talking about life insurance. And this video came up. We're going to be showing this recap video here, or this reel we're going to be reacting to. But this pastor in this video has been preaching tithing for 20 years and realized he had zero life insurance, no protection, no legacy, just faith without a plan, a hope-so strategy. Then there's this brother we're going to be reacting to in this video coming up. Born in America, but his parents didn't fill out the paperwork properly. Gets deported to London because of a paperwork issue. What he told us about his reality in that country, about America, shook me. And don't get me started on Medicare. It's collapsing. So is Social Security. But I've been showing families how to properly structure whole life insurance and index universal life insurance to help solve some not only real healthcare issues, but making sure we have some money to fall back on, all without waiting on Congress to get the act together. If this doesn't make you question your plan after the things we share this afternoon, I don't know what will. The system isn't just broken, and we know it's rigged. You got to know it's rigged, not for your benefit. And while the world death scrolls and sleeps and stays sedated, the enemy is doing his very best to steal, kill, and devour your faith, your finances, and your freedom right from under your nose. But listen, Linda, we can still win. We can still build, and we can still protect what matters. So if you stop acting, though, like a consumer and start moving more like a kingdom builder, the whole world is open to you. That's why we go live every Tuesday, 2 p.m. It's more than just content. This is an economic wake-up call. Now, before we get into the deep end, if you're in the Dallas, Fort Worth, Frisco area, and you're willing to get on a plane for your financial future, we got people coming into Dallas for this. Mark your calendar for November 12th, my quarterly Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey event here in Frisco, Texas at the Frisco Hall. This is not a seminar. This is a movement. It's an upscale masterclass, an upscale networking event for the financially frustrated, the spiritually ambitious, for the kingdom builder that knows how to combine faith and finance and wants to make those connections. Now do me three things. Number one, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel right now here at Seven Figure Squad. Number two, if you're paying attention, drop either in the live chat or comments for the replay, drop kingdom in the chat so I know that you're here. And if you're serious about shifting your future, number three, text your brother, text your friend, your team, send them this live video before the enemy attempts to lie to them again so they can watch it later on. So let's talk AI, let's talk faith, let's talk money, but most of all, let's talk truth. Let's get started. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey, 7-figure squad. What we go? Run it up, run it up.
All right. Well, back at it. So Amazon has announced it will cut an additional estimated 15,000 jobs from its corporate workforce. Let's take a look at this. Take a look at
Good
this
morning,
video.
Michael. It's nice to see you guys. And these are deep, deep cuts. Amazon is planning to cut 14,000 corporate jobs starting this week. It is one of the largest rounds of layoffs in the company's history. Why would Amazon be doing this right now, ahead of the holidays, while the company seems to be doing well? Well, in a note to employees this morning, they say the world is changing quickly. This generation of AI is the most transformative technology we have seen since the internet. And that's really echoing what CEO Andy Jassy started signaling this summer when he said generative AI could mean fewer workers. And Amazon isn't alone here, making these changes in the midst of a major AI transformation. Target announced last week that it will be eliminating about 1,800 roles. Other tech giants like Microsoft, Meta, Google, and Intel have also made cuts this year. And this is important to follow because tech companies are a bellwether for the broader economy. They can be. And right now, hiring is slowing for the first time since the pandemic. There are more unemployed workers than jobs available, although overall unemployment is still historically low at 4.3%. Good morning, Michael. It's nice to see you guys. And these are deep, deep cuts. Amazon is planning to cut 14,000.
All right. So let's take a look at this. It's not hidden secret anymore that AI is changing the world. Just to give you some idea, some context about how technology rapidly, quickly changed the world. And I'm one of those rare generation of a kid born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, served our country in the 90s, early 2000s, to see this world transition from an in-person conversation all the time to a text message, cell phone conversation all the time for the most part. One of those rare generations that when we decided to have a conversation about something, we actually got together and hammered things out face to face, not hide behind a keyboard warrior type of scenario. And the crazy part about why AI is moving faster than the internet ever did is because there's no barrier to entry. Anybody right now can get on AI just like anybody could have got on Google Chrome or Yahoo or AOL. And here's the thing too as well. You don't need additional hardware or infrastructure. You just need an internet connection. If you want to jump on AI and use AI, and this year we've created 2 products. We launched one key product and we launched a new business this year using AI. We used AI to help me write my latest book, Keep the Keys. I gave it a text, I gave it content, and it proofread, make sure there's no typo spelling errors compared to my first book, Faith Made Millionaire, which was open to human error. You can, if you read my first book, Faith Made Millionaire, you can still get it today. There's some typos in there still. We haven't updated the text. But guess what AI allowed us to do? Make sure there's no errors due to typos based on missed human errors of reading the text. In addition to that, we're able to compile, based on what's going on in real estate, all the different articles in research, compile into the text of Keep the Keys book. And by the way, speaking of Keep the Keys, I'm on a national book tour right now across the country talking about how not only just to get the keys, but how to get the keys. And I'll be in Las Vegas this Thursday. And this is hosted by Monique Gonzalez and Rachel Santiago out in our Las Vegas operation. I'll be there 6:30 in our Las Vegas location. We'll put the link in the comment section below. I'll be out there for book tour signing because I just came back from Sacramento and I'm going to share something here in an episode that we're going to. Mawante put me in front of him. This guy's worth $40 million. He's got 82 doors. House rich, cash poor. Wants to move to a different state, but feels stuck there in Sacramento, California. Has no flexibility, has no liquid cash, feels absolutely stuck after 25 years getting involved in real estate. So I'll be talking about Keep the Keys here and the book, the premise of the book, and everything that the guts that's inside of it. If you need more information, go to my website, keepthekeysbook.com. I have 2 free resources there for you. My Clarity Score worksheet. If anybody ever tells you to put your money somewhere, process it through the Clarity worksheet. If you want to see if you've got holes in your game plan when you have a home or renting an apartment, fill out the scorecard, the Clarity scorecard to see where you rank, what type of holes that are right now in your current plan, and what type of holes that you need to fill to close that gap. But back to AI. Right now with AI, there's instant integration. AI can allow a guy, simple guy like me, to start a record company called the Seven Figure Squad production company to create our new AI artist named Million. And now this is being downloaded all over the world. Our message of entrepreneurship, financial freedom, and legacy is now being shared all over the world through iTunes and through anywhere, Spotify, anywhere you can download and stream music, Amazon, etc. Here's another thing: AI is accelerating. It's self-accelerating because it's learning itself. It doesn't need to sleep. And if you're not using AI, I'm just curious, for those of you watching this live right now or watching the replay, how many of y'all use AI? How many of y'all use ChatGPT? How many guys used Gemini? What's the other one? Sora or something like that, right? How many guys are using that? We're using 4 or 5, 6 different platforms for AI right now, currently what we're doing. And it's allowed us to streamline our job. For example, we manually assembled the recap videos that we're about to do here on Tuesday, but we allow AI to help us create better titles and AI to create better organization of the videos we're about to do. So it's eliminated 1 or 2 jobs. And our production team and our editing team, they can maximize their talent skill set. So therefore, we can invest more into infrastructure. And here's the thing too with AI, there's mass adoption. Everybody's using it. I'm just curious, for those of you using it, there's mass adoption. Just came back from a Christian conference a couple of weeks ago. We asked everybody there, how much AI are you using in your business? Everybody said, yep, ChatGPT, some open AI subscribers on a monthly basis. And the internet, for example, the internet gave you mass information real time, boom. But AI gives you access not to information, but to capacity, to increasing your capability. So companies are realizing this. Why we can get this budget. We can create a higher quality type of employee, but we can use AI. Allow them to use AI, but we need somebody that's Johnny on the spot and using technology. You got to know, with a cut like this, billions of dollars are at stake. Usually what happens to a company's stock value when they create mass layoffs like this, the stock value props up because there's the financials end up being better because there's less internal costs. And usually for most employees, they're overhead instead of revenue generating expenses. So the real difference is this. The internet changed how we consume and obtain information. And AI is changing how you and I produce value. And if you're not using AI today, I'm just curious, what are you guys doing to use AI? Are you using it for emails? Are you using it for job resume creation? Are you using it for business plans? And if you're not using AI, you're already behind. Every week I coach my guys. How much have you used AI? How much have you used AI? How much have you used AI for your marketing, for your social media posts? If you're not using AI to help you post and market your business on social media, you're being left behind. Because if you're not using AI to post and market on social media, your competitors are. And we'll probably have a follow-up to this, though. We need to have a breakdown how we can leverage this inside the financial services industry and anywhere. We can talk about this on future things. But again, in the internet era, those who waited, they still had time to kind of adjust. Years went by before people really started using Google Chrome. It took me years for me to use Gmail. It took me years for me to use Amazon to buy things. I remember Rudy was, I think what were we buying? We're buying a plug for a cell phone or something, a plug for, I don't know what we were buying. And I was like, okay, bro, we got to go down to Radio Shack or Best Buy. He goes, no, just buy it on Amazon. I said, bro, I'm not trying to buy a book on how to find a plug. Let's just go to Radio Shack or Best Buy to buy the plug. He says, no, Matt, you can actually buy this product on Amazon. I said, wasn't Amazon just for books? Because in 1998, 1999, I bought my first book. It was a funny thing. I still have the receipt here of the first books I purchased on Amazon. But I was going back to Amazon for years. But guess what happened to those years that I wasn't using Amazon? They were starting to put products for shopping on Amazon. I wasn't using it. I was still fine though. So in other words, what I'm saying is that even though if you might be using the internet at that time, years later, you're still fine not using the internet. That's not the case with AI. In the AI era, as you see right now, in this video here from ABC News, those who don't use AI will soon be replaced fast. So AI won't replace you. Someone using AI will replace you. And that's my message this afternoon. All right, let's go to the next video. This athlete is talking about him now adjusting from being a star on the basketball court to now working in a warehouse with a regular job. Let's take a look at what he's got to say here. There you go. Oh, internet, please don't do this to me again like it did last week. Okay, here we go. Bet.
My former athletes, can we talk about how it feels transitioning from being that top athlete to having to like step into the real world and get a job and shit? Like, bro, it feel like just yesterday I was dunking on motherfuckers. I'm hitting threes. Hey, anyway, I'm doing all that now. No, I'm stressing. I'm stressing about how I'm gonna move these pallets. We ain't gonna talk about how your friends and your family treat you too. Like they look at you as the meal ticket, and now they treat you like a bad bitch that fell off. Yo, bro, the transition from being an athlete, bro, and into the regular world, bro, it's crazy, bro. It's literally crazy. Yo, man, my former athletes.
Yeah, I have the same conversation with my military brothers and sisters. Why? For years, and with athletes since they were kids, with my military brethren since they were 17, 18 years old. For years, we were wearing the uniform. For years, we learned order. For years, we learned structure. For years, we learned culture. For years, we learned patriotism. For years, we learned to work together as a team. For years, we operated as a unit. And then when you get out, you're operating on your own. No more uniform, no more facility, no more base. And for both, whether you're wearing a basketball uniform or football uniform or a military uniform, that uniform was your identity. And when you have, and on top of it, your name tag here, your branch of service here, that's who you were. And I think the people that get it worse are the senior officers, the senior non-commissioned officers and officers, because when these guys walked in the room, they commanded respect. When a staff sergeant walks in the room, there's a bit of respect in the Marine Corps. When a staff sergeant or a gunnery sergeant or definitely a first sergeant or a sergeant major walks into the room, there's immediate respect. When that rank and rockers, the stripes and rockers comes into the room, on their uniform comes in or on their collar, commands respect. When an officer walks into a room, attention on deck, right? Everybody's saluting to the officer. The officer says, as you were, because everybody had command respect to whomever that officer was. Regardless if you liked the human being or not, you respected the rank. So that was, for most military brothers and sisters, the uniform was your identity. And on top of that, the uniform was your purpose. You're balling out. You're going to practice. You're studying. You're studying game tape. And every day, your purpose mattered because you had a game on Sunday, or you had a game here in the next couple of days, or you were doing workups for a special operations capacity type of inspection. It's something like that, right? And that purpose, yeah, it felt repetitive. Every Thursday we'd be field day, but we worked together as a unit to clean the barracks. Just make sure we had an outstanding inspection on Friday morning so we could have some libo early on Friday afternoon if we were back in garrison instead of being deployed. In the military uniform, that sports uniform, that's your brothers. That was your team. Now it feels like you're alone because you're not checking in no more. You're not gearing up. There's no more locker room. That uniform was your way of competing. The way you felt confident with your hands, your skills, your abilities, your uniform inspection to compete with your other service members in drill, in PFTs, marksmanship. Now nobody's keeping score anymore. That uniform was your area to be coachable, to have somebody mentor you, to get you leveling up. And most people don't want to be pushed. But you realize as an athlete, you do. You realize as a service member, you do. You like that asshole of a first sergeant. You like that jerk of a coach. Some weird, sick way, you liked it. because they knew it was for the betterment of the team. So therefore, you can win and be successful at your job. So you can come home alive, or you can come home with a championship. And being in uniform invokes standards within inside your life. Everybody's reading stats. Everybody has a comment on you either on social media or in the paper about the standards you're raising as a player, as a star player, somebody's contributing to the organization. You're all conference, you're all state, you're all pro. You're the Marine of the quarter. You had standards. And now, nobody is invoking standards. You're on your own. So you got to look around and think, is this it? After years of sacrifice, after years of sweat and discipline, this is what life is like now? I know, man. I've been there, bro. Matter of fact, there's an organization out there called Merging Vets and Players, MVP. Can't remember the name of the ESPN host that runs it, but I know there's a big chapter. But they combine former athletes and former military service members together, and they work out together. They have camaraderie together. They feel that teamwork together, that discipline together, those standards together, that challenge one another. They love that. It's called MVP. I suggest you guys go find out. We'll put a link to the organization. You can find a local chapter in your area. But go plug into that because you got camaraderie, you get brotherhood, sisterhood all over again in those type of organization. But you got to understand, man, athletes are built different. Veterans are built different. You've served our country. You were in uniform, regardless of what branch of service, how much crap we give you about being part of the Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines. What's the saying? The only branch of service is the Navy and the Army, because the Air Force is a corporation and the Marines are a cult. But here's the reality. Now you feel underutilized. And this brother here's talking about pushing pallets versus learning how to run a triangle offense and get back on defense and win a championship. He's underutilized right now pushing pallets. He's like a caged lion right now. You're like a caged lion out there with a regular job at Best Buy as a manager, or at Chipotle, or at Home Depot. And what you think was the biggest chapter of your life in uniform, whether you're branch of service or in sports, was just preparation for the greatness that you can have in your entire life. Sports taught you the exact traits to be successful. Being in the military taught you the exact traits and fundamentals and principles to be successful. And don't forget that. Discipline, how to handle pressure, mental toughness, camaraderie, reps, practice, rehearsal. You know, I was interviewing Coach K. He said one of the things about practice is practice and preparation made us worthy of winning. Team dynamics, competing to win. So you just got to find your next. And I pray that you find your next, because when you put an athlete or a veteran in the right environment, watch out. It's game on again. And that's why we built our firm that way. We built it around our family, our faith, sports, the locker room, camaraderie. That's why you have so much craziness in our office. And many companies try to copy our culture. But if guys don't understand how to copy this culture at the top, the culture doesn't flow because it's not natural from the leadership team. And if you want to find out how to invoke this into your business, good play, bro. How to invoke this into your business, connect with me on Connect. There's so many things I can share with you on how to create a team environment, how to lead a sales force, how to scale your company from a one-man operation to a 10-man, to a 500-man operation. We have 5,000 agents across the country right now on my national tour with my Keep the Keys book tours through our national team, visiting our offices and seeing and identifying new rising leaders in our company, because we created culture with the organization. We see all sorts of people, white, black, brown, Latino, Asian, LGBTQ, straight, married, single, don't matter, right? Democrat, don't matter. We love people. Our job is to help people because we care about one color. That color is green. Money. We care about one race, the human race. See, that's part of our culture that I got from the military. Now I inject it into our company. It's the exciting part about it. If you want to connect how to do it, connect with me on Connect. I got real connections, real answers directly to you, a guaranteed way to get a hold of me. God bless this young man, and maybe we send him a DM, get him an opportunity. I don't know where he's located, but Saj Baby on Instagram will reach out to you, big dog. All right, in the next video here. Master P has got his opinion here about money in the music industry. Let's take a listen.
Mad and trip, but I'm just saying, y'all know it's a lot of things that we used to do. It ain't no money, and you know it done tapped out. They trying to figure out how to make money off of streams. When Snoop put a post up, said, man, I sold 1 billion streams. I only made this little money. Where the millions at? We knew where our money from because we had tangible goods. And that's why I got into the product game. We could actually have tangible goods. I told people all the time, product outweighs talent. Product gonna be around when we not here. Michael Jordan is still successful because of the shoes, not because of him shooting balls into the hoop. That been over. Father Time did that. But guess what? Look at the business he was able to create. African-American owned. So people laugh at me, say, well, Pete, why you came up with cereal? We're the #1 consumer of cereal. Go look and see how much those big companies make off of us. And then people tell me, oh, well, you got sugar in the cereal. They've been having sugar in their cereal for 100 years. So you wouldn't want me to build a brand and a company and put money back into our community, educate our people, give our people opportunities and jobs, but y'all gonna let them do it? That's like somebody saying, don't make Snickers. If we make a Snicker, oh man, a black man got a Snicker with sugar. That was the Snicker been had. What you want me to make? A sugar-free Snicker? We have to deprogram our mindset and stop hating on. But I'm out of the music industry.
Yeah, if you would continue to stop programming mindset, stop hating on each other, support one another. Absolutely. Just so you know, every time I visit a brand new cigar lounge, kind of like my habit, my way to encourage and support the local cigar aficionado that has the courage to start a cigar lounge in this city. Every time I go to a new cigar lounge, I do two things. I buy two things, no matter what I do. Number one, I buy a lighter, a cigar torch from that cigar lounge, because usually that lighter has their logo on the side. So I buy a lighter, the best lighter to have with the cigar lounge on the side. I buy that lighter, and I ask that cigar lounge owner, what's your blend? What did you make? What's your sticks? What did you create? And usually they have their own blend. And in that cigar lounge, the benefit of doing that is their own blend. They have a lot of pride of selling their own brand in that cigar lounge. And most cigar people come to cigar lounge, they don't know how to ask that question. They go, hey, give me a Padron, and give me a My Father, give me a Davidoff, or give me what it is, the typical, give me a Rocky Patel, give me a Cohiba, the typical cigar brand names, which is awesome. But when I go in there, I want to support the local entrepreneur because he's creating distribution for Cohiba and Rocky Patel and Davidoff and Padron, et cetera. So he's creating distribution, but I want to support the local cigar owner who's got the biggest margin on selling what? Their own cigars, because they made it. They buy it at a better price. So I want to support that cigar lounge owner by selling his stick, by supporting his brand, and the profit margin is the most by selling that brand. That's what I do, is support. And so I believe that's what my responsibility as an entrepreneur, to spread the bread, that people around you, they are sharing in your success somehow, some way. I tell everybody that works around me, direct with me, you may not get rich. I will tell you though, if you figure out how to align with me for a long term, you'll never have to worry about money. You'll always have income. You'll always have cash flow. We'll find a way to make money together. As I grow and recreate myself, when I ask everybody around me that wants to level to the next level in their life, they got to grow and recreate me, or recreate themselves around me. Otherwise, I replace them with other people, because I can't be around people that don't want to grow and recreate themselves. If you're comfortable at 150,000, 250, or 50,000, whatever area that you're comfortable, and you're not growing and recreating yourself and advancing your skills, you're going to be either replaced by somebody who wants to advance with those skills powered by AI, or somebody that wants that position as hungry as you, because I need to surround myself with hungry people. And so the music shift is the biggest shift, because music right now longer is in a business of making money selling albums and streams. Music right now is in the marketing. And that's a big reason why we started the AI brand with Million, right? We started if you want to download our music, we'll put it here in the comment section below. We'll put it in the description below, how to download our music, called The Movement by Million, Milyon. We got to create a graphic for that one day, right? Milyon. Download it. Download it on iTunes. Download it on Spotify. Download it on anywhere we can find streaming music. The top 3 countries right now downloading music, obviously United States. Number 2 and 3, Japan and South Korea. They love our music. Okay. When's the last? You checked that in DistroKid. How many streams have we gotten so far? The last time we checked, it's been about a while ago. How many? 16,000 downloads already, and growing. Okay. And we're not advertising. It's just simply by word of mouth. Okay. And so you got to look at the blueprint though. What did Jay-Z build? So Jay-Z built music, right? But is he really making money in music? Why do you start Rockaware? Why did he start a Rock Nation, a sports agency? Ace of Spades, right? Title, right? What was the Yusei? What was it? Was that the Duce, right? He started that brand. So he created his brand through music to springboard him to other things. Rihanna, Fenty Beauty. You look at her brand. You look at Dr. Dre, Beats by Dre. He used his music platform to sell headphones. Kanye, Yeezys, right? Oh, did he get him back yet? No, he didn't get him back. But he created Yeezy at that point, right? Before he decided to go, truthful. Is that the word we want to use? Before he decided to go truthful. Snoop Dogg, what's Snoop Dogg? He's building a media company. He's building a branding empire. There's not a place where Snoop Dogg's not willing to get a bag. You see him all sorts of music, pop, country, Bollywood. You see Snoop Dogg all over the place. Why? Because he's building a media empire and reaching into multiple generations and multiple demographics. Salute to Snoop Dogg. Master P, he's in business with Snoop Dogg. What are they doing? Products, ownership, food. He's involved in all those things, taking that music brand that he had into his empire. So if you're a musician today, right, you understand that music business of yours, you got to create some good music though, right? Because you don't create music that everybody wants to watch. You're not going to get anybody to get your brand and download into their phone. You got to create some killer music, but you got to create a product behind it, right? Just like what we're doing. We've already got a product behind it. That's why we're pushing the music production company. That's now we're pushing the 7-figure squad production company, Million and the movement. We got a music now for cigars. We're building a line for cigars in terms of music. You playing a cigar lounge. We got a trilogy. We got launched. We created a song for Keep the Keys. I think the first time a book has a theme song called Keep the Keys. Keep the Keys. Yeah, we got a song for that. Right. All created by AI. All by AI. So, how are you adapting and adjusting to AI in your industry? If you're a musician watching this, how are you adapting using AI? This next video here is about Pastor Mike on protecting what matters most. He's coming to a realization here about how to not only pray for deliverance, pray for a financial miracle, but what you got to do here on earth with action. Because faith without works is dead. Let's hear what Mike Jr. here has to say about his greatest realization. All right, let's pop it up here. Let's go. Cool. Boom.
Old and my pastor told me, get you some life insurance. You did doing so, boom. At 26, didn't even understand it. I said, sir, I ain't got no money. I can barely feed my family. He said, but y'all eat, don't it? He said, prioritize that. Prioritize your tomorrow over your hungry stomach today. And that did something to me. I was 26. And I got a universal life policy. And I started paying into it. If by 65, it'll be this many $1 million in the bank because it accrues so-and-so. But then you get a regular life insurance policy. So when you die, that just pay for your funeral. But then your family gonna get all this money. Lady gonna get XYZ. The boys gonna get a certain amount of money at 25. But then if they act a fool and blow it, they don't get all of it. They get a certain drop at 25. And if they mess up, it's some waiting on them at 35. They mess up again, I think it's one more drop, boom. The church pay off instantly because I don't want to leave my church in debt because all y'all gonna leave, right? So the church pay off instantly. Think about how I was thinking at 26. So right now, something happened to me, the whole church pay off. My staff's salaries for a certain amount of time go in an account. So they're not outdoors and don't have nothing. Family straight, foundation gets started to make sure kids still go to college. Right there.
Come on, Pastor.
This prophet never planned for the future. What's your plan? I was 26 years old and my pastor told me, get you some life.
Oh, that's profound, man. From a man of the cloth, realizing that I was preaching from the pulpit, but I wasn't applying those principles to actionable stewardship duties and responsibilities. Reminds me of a story. Sat down with the pastor recently who told me straight up, Matt, I always believed that God would provide. And so he never thought about life insurance. And he says, but when I was building the ministry, I didn't have enough money. I was just barely getting my ministry off the ground. We were church planting and renting an auditorium from a school. So I figured he'd just wait. I just wait, Matt. I'm just going to wait. My family, I'm just going to wait. Then reality hit him. What was it reality? He lost a close friend who was also a pastor. The pastor died with no life insurance coverage. And the church had to start up a GoFundMe account, some car washes, just to raise enough money to bury him. And think about this. You raise that money for a funeral, right? Amen, hallelujah if you do that. But where does the money go, though? And what purpose does that money serve? So you raise money for a GoFundMe. In the Polynesian community, we have a lot of Polynesian clients today. They call it falavalave. Okay, they raise a lot of money for the burial to honoring the one who lived, who's now passed away, to raise cash and capital. And whether you're raising money through a GoFundMe or a falavalave, now that money's serving one purpose, to go bury that money in the ground with that person. And does that money ever circulate ever again in the community? Does the money ever circulate again outside of the funeral home to other entrepreneurs and business owners and people who are going to college and school from that family's ancestry down the road? No, it's not. It went to one purpose, boom, in the ground. It's trapped, stuck. Never gives light and life again to anybody else but the funeral home and the costs of burying a loved one. And this, back to the story, the wife had no income. She was a first lady. She's depending on the church and the pastor to live, and the kids obviously had no plan. And so the purpose of this was saying, we're praying, Matt, we're praying. The church prayed, but couldn't pay. And he told me later on, he says, Matt, that's when I realized faith alone is not a financial strategy. It's part of the strategy, but faith alone is not a financial strategy. You can read the Bible all you want. You can read Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. You can read all the 2,600 verses of money in the Bible. You could read 39% of Jesus' stories and parables about money and stewardship and financial responsibilities and never get financially ahead if you just read and just simply pray. That is part of the formula, though. But that alone is not a financial strategy. And he realized, Matt, I realized that tithing and offering and all this stuff, I didn't tithe and offer to my first ministry, which is my family, that the good Lord has blessed me, right? What does the Bible say? A wife is a blessing, is a good thing. And you're not taking care of that good thing. You're not taking care of that blessing, but you're taking care of the church and other responsibilities, taking care of Ford for your car payment, taking care of GMAC for your mortgage payment. And so we end up setting him up with a $500,000 life insurance policy with living benefits, and it cost him less than what he was tithing every month by far. It was even 10%. And here's what he said. He said, Matt, I was preaching about stewardship, but I wasn't practicing it. I was praying about it, but not acting upon it. And this action of me now financially getting a policy in force now gives me peace. And now he feels they can lean, because you learn from conviction how to lead with example, with moral authority. And when something happens to him, like this pastor right here, the church debt's paid off. The staff salary's straight. The family can still send the kids to college. The plant self-completes, assuming that you're not here no more and the good Lord called you home. And a couple of scriptures I wrote down here, 1 Timothy 5:8 talks about providing for your own household first. Proverbs 21 verse 20 says, wisdom prepares for the future. Proverbs 13 verse 22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance for kids, 3 generations, yours, your kids, and the next generation. James 2 verse 17 says, faith requires action. And so, praise God, Pastor Mike Jr., I'm protecting what matters. What do you think? Do you think that people get this wrong? And people say this, it's too expensive. The question I've asked people, my Keep the Keys book tour across the country, on this Keep the Keys book tour, I'll go on asking folks, this is a question I want you to answer. I said, sir, you're 32 years old. Sir, you're 35. Ma'am, you're 31 years old. How much do you think a $1 billion life insurance policy at your age costs for the next 30 years? $200 a month, $500 a month, $600 a month, one guy said. Seriously? Seriously. Life insurance, I wonder if I can Google it right here. How much life insurance, let's take a look at my screen here real quick. Let's look at this together. Life insurance for a male, powered by AI, a 35-year-old man can expect to roughly pay $63 a month for a $1 million policy for a 30-year term policy, with a 35-year-old female will cost around $50 a month. That's it. For $1 million life insurance policy, for the next 30 years, you can rent insurance for $65 a month, Obviously, you got to figure out whether or not you're healthy, or certain circumstances may apply where it might be more expensive or even less expensive. But here's some specific cost estimates for a $1 million 30-year term policies. Okay. I just mentioned earlier, it's $63 a month for a 35-year-old male, approximately $50 for a woman, 45 years old. It's $145. So what does this tell you? Well, most people say get life insurance later on. No, get insurance while you're young and healthy. Like as soon as you get life insurance, get it. All my kids got policies when they're babies. My youngest, when he was born, 10 days old when he got a life insurance policy. Not even as out of a box of diapers was he out of before we got him a life insurance policy. Why? Because the older you are, the more expensive it gets. Ladies, $113 a month. And things that will affect the price of that premium, well, your health. So if you're overweight, you smoke, you take a lot of prescription drugs. So I'd be careful about your health. It's going to cost you more money in life insurance. Lifestyle, smoking, for instance. By the way, just so you guys know, smoking cigars. I tell the insurance companies all the time, I smoke cigars 3 times a week. You know what they say? Your standard non-tobacco. Not tobacco rating, standard non-tobacco. What? So even the life insurance companies who know how to predict when somebody's going to die, they don't think a cigar or weed for that matter, either brown or green. And obviously you got to factor this in and ask your local life insurance agent. If you need help with that, put in the comment section below, help with life insurance. We can help you with that, point you in the right direction. But life insurance companies consider smoking cigars, not a smoking rating versus cigarettes. Okay. By the way, if you do drugs, that's why a lot of our sadly, some of our athletes, definitely a lot of our entertainers that are rock stars, sadly, they take a lot of external substances. They can't even get a life insurance policy for a period of 10 years based on the last day they took certain drugs. 10 years. That's how much the insurance companies feel, how much drug use affects your life expectancy. They want you drug-free for 10 years before these life insurance companies even think about underwriting you for a life insurance policy. So when you're looking at these type of things, these factors matter. When you're educated, when you're young and you're healthy. Good job, Pastor Mike. All right, let's go to the next one. This guy got deported. Check out what this guy said. He got deported. And his interesting awareness about where he's at right now.
After 20 plus years and 97+% of my life in the United States, ICE agents picked me up in Chicago and threw me in jail for 3 weeks because my parents did not file my paperwork correctly. They brought me to the United States on a visa, overstayed that visa, had opportunities to appeal it in court, and my father did not show up to court. Now I'm in the United Kingdom, and this country sucks. And it has made me more America first, because you see, outside of London, all of England is a third world country, a dump.
Say what?
I hate it here. And I am excited and ready to go back to the United States, but I have a 10-year ban to wait out. And I'm waiting to bring my fiance over because I had a wedding scheduled that I had to cancel. And it's taken everything in me to forgive my parents for what they've done to me and what they've caused. But I'll keep going on. Yes, I got deported after 20 plus years and 97+% of my life in the United States.
So what do y'all think about this? 2 things that stick out to me. Number one, sad that he got deported. Due to a mistake by mom and dad. And what sticks out to me too is his attitude and his awareness of what he finds in London. Due to the way policies and the government there have decided to run their countries. You talk about UK, you talk about Britain, you talk about France, you talk about, Ireland, Scotland, right? Let me just make sure I'm accurate. How many countries in the UK? Okay. The countries, right? England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland is considered the UK. 4 countries in the UK. England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. He says they're trash. And here's what I want to share with you. What country, or let me more specifically, what state in America is the brokest, cheapest, most poverty-filled state. What country do you think, what state in our country is the least wealthy, the least richest state in America? You know what it is? Ding, 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 ding. It's Mississippi. Their GDP, according to 2024, is estimated around 158 billion US dollars. You know the crazy part? Mississippi is considered one of the poorest states in America, but its economy is still bigger than 18 countries in Europe. What? So this is the kind of stat that exposes how powerful the U.S. economy is. Even our struggling states like Mississippi are wealthier than entire nations in Europe. And for example, they're richer in Croatia, 96 billion, Slovakia, 116 billion, Lithuania, 66 billion GDP, Slovenia, 68 billion, Bulgaria, 89 billion, Serbia, 76 billion, Luxembourg, 82 billion, Latvia, 40 billion, Estonia, 37 billion, Iceland, 34 billion, Bosnia and Herzegovina, 24 billion, on and on and on and on. So when you look at these countries that have a GDP lower than Mississippi, that tells you something about America and how much this guy, even though he got deported, how much he wants to come back home to America because he realizes how much trash these other countries are outside of London. And London used to be the financial capital of the world until the 1920s. 1920s, who took over? New York. Wall Street, New York Wall Street took over as the financial capital of the world. Policies. That's why, listen, I'm not a guy that shoves politics down anybody's throat, but I am an economic policy guy. I want to know how this potential candidate, whether you're Democrat or Republican or independent, is going to create policies that make you, the government, get out of my life more, so therefore I can make more of what's mine and keep more of what's mine. That's my policy. Get out of my way. Protect me, create laws, be the policeman to guard the gates, the wall, fight for me when the bully shows up to create fair competition here in America. But outside of that, government, I appreciate you for doing it. I don't need you to take care of my family. I don't need you to pay my mortgage. I don't need you to pay my kids' food. I don't need you to pay my kids' education. Stay out my way. Therefore, I can take care of my own. I love that policy. And whatever candidate allows that to happen, to keep more of what's mine because I earned it, I'm voting for that person. So this young man is realizing how good we really have it in America. For those of you that don't think America is the country it is, go travel. And I'm not talking about traveling to the tourist locations like Cancun or Tulum. Or go there, but go out about an hour and see where the real Mexico really is, to see where the real Philippines are, to see where the real areas of poverty are away from the areas of tourism. You know, realize we got it good in America. How many people can complain in America and get away with it? How many people can call out the government and police and judges and all that authority? They can get away with it. In other countries, no chance. No chance. So love that perspective. Okay. And so this next one here is was that solving Medicare healthcare crisis? What is this one? Here we go. How to solve Medicare crisis. Is that it? How to solve Medicare crisis? I think that was it. Look, I think that's the wrong. I think it's the wrong video we're pulling up. No, it's the wrong one. Thanks for your patience, everybody. We're getting the right video up here. Make sure we talk about the right thing there for you. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, that one. Here, I'll play it right now. Here we go. Let me expand the screen. There you go. By the way, I started following her, Kathy Talk. I think she's got a great brain.
Code on how to solve America's healthcare crisis and poverty. We don't need more insurance companies. We don't need more government subsidies. We need a complete mindset shift. What if, instead of wasting billions of dollars on Medicaid, Medicare, and tax credits for things like EVs, child expenses, We use all that money and buy every single American a whole life insurance policy, something that actually builds value over time, covers catastrophic medical costs, and helps people grow real wealth generationally. Listen, I know it sounds radical until you run the numbers. Right now, the U.S. spends $4.7 trillion a year on healthcare, and that's $14,500 per person, every man, woman, and child. If the government foots over $1.9 trillion in Medicare, Medicaid, CHIP, and ACA subsidies, private insurance still not helping. Often, you have to pay your high deductible. And if you're healthy, that money disappears. You don't get any benefit from it. You don't own it and you can't touch it. It's not an asset. You're basically renting peace of mind from a company that profits when you stay sick or scared of being sick. But let's say the government used tariff revenue, defense spending, and eliminate the redundant health subsidies, and instead issued every legal-born U.S. citizen a $250,000 whole life insurance policy starting at birth. A $250,000
buying it
whole life
early?
policy for a healthy 30-year-old costs about $4,800 a year for the next 20 years of that policy. Here's the math. 330 million people at $4,800 a year. That's $1.5 trillion a year for the next 20 years. That's less than what we currently spend on Medicaid and Medicare at $1.9 trillion. But here's the difference. Whole life policies build cash values. They can be borrowed against tax-free for catastrophic health
she's
events.
flying.
They're assets, they're not expenses, and they don't expire when the fiscal year ends. And if you pass away, your family gets that fund.
So
I think
who's Kathy Talk? Voice of reason, giving bold takes on big issues and current. She's not a life insurance agent. Good for her. So let me give you some thoughts here on what would happen if everybody in America had to get life insurance. Number one, America would shift from debt culture to ownership culture. What? By the way, who would hate it? I'll tell you who would hate it. Because right now, the biggest things that people buy in their entire life, a house, a car, college education, right? They buy it cash or they go in debt for it. They go in debt for it. And so credit cards, car loans, student mortgages, all these things are purchased through debt. What does whole life do? If you fund it over a period of time, guess what whole life does? Based on the cash value that it grows inside there. It doesn't create what? It doesn't create debt. It creates cash. So you can buy college cash. You can buy a car cash. You can buy a house potentially cash, depending on where you go, based on how much cash is inside the policy. And guess what? When you pull money outside a whole life policy or permanent life insurance policy, whether it's whole life, universal life, or index universal life, or variable life, guess how much income tax you pay according to IRS code 7702? Nothing. Zero. And people would have a mindset shift of building cash reserves first before buying. People would borrow against themselves before the banks. And interest would be paid back to who? Not the banks, not to the government, back to policy owners themselves. So it's going back to an ownership culture. So banks will lose power if this happens. Families will gain leverage if this happens. The power of life insurance, debt dependency dissolves. I love this second thing. Guess what else would panic? Not only the banks would panic, the government would panic. Why? The government panic over tax losses because cash value inside a properly structured permanent life insurance policy, there's major style, which is term insurance or permanent insurance. And we got a video coming up why you should buy term and why you should be perm. This would be a permanent style of insurance. And other style of insurance, there's many different items like whole life, universal life, index universal life, or variable universal life. But inside a cash value, properly structured life insurance policy, it'll grow tax advantages, no Roth IRA or IRA limitation like a 401k, no penalty for accessing that money before 59 and a half years old. Because what happens with most people's 401k plan or retirement plan when they run across an emergency? They liquidate it. And when you liquidate a 401k plan or an IRA before you're 59 and a half years old and you don't put it back, not only are you exposed to income tax, but a 10% excise tax penalty on top of what you took out in terms of tax. So you pay 33% of your income tax, another 10%. It's 43% gone of the $1,000 or $2,000 or $10,000 you took out by liquidating your 401k plan. And what happens when you liquidate your 401k plan for emergencies? You liquidate your retirement plan, period. And you move that money from growing to now owing. Because now you miss out on the greatest asset that you have in terms of growing your money, which is what? Time. Time. You listen, you can always make money back, but you can never get back time. And so the IRS would step in faster than Wall Street would flip a bear market, because this is an impactful thing to the IRS. Third thing, generational gap in America, the wealth divide would narrow. Woo! Fast. And when you're looking at whole life, permanent life insurance policies, they pay out tax advantage inheritance immediately when somebody passes away. We interviewed Master P. He said, you want to fight crime in America? Everybody get a policy. Everybody get $1 million policy. When somebody gets wrongly murdered or wrongly injured, they're going to have a life insurance policy or cash with insight, whether the death benefit or cash inside, to hire a lawyer. Hello, class action lawsuit. Hello, specific lawsuits. Hiring of the best attorneys in the city and the community to file a lawsuit against that municipality. And they're going to love it too, because they're going to be in on the claim. They're going to be on the settlement. So every family, if every family in America would buy a life insurance policy, it would start generational wealth creation from day one. In addition to that, every single parent home and working class families would finally have a wealth plan. Poverty would decline in 1 to 2 generations. America would be a nation again of wealth starters, not a nation of debtors. You want to create a fund for your kids? Everybody in America would now have a fund, an immediate benefit to the next generation when they graduate high school or college, whatever you want to do, or grade school or even graduate kindergarten, based on how well you fund your trust. Fourth thing that would happen if everybody in America got a life insurance policy, small business ownership would explode. Explode. How did Walt Disney, Ray Kroc, J.C. Penney start their business back in the day? By withdrawing money from their whole life policies. It's a financial tool to access money without paying a dime in tax, without any pre-59.5-year-old withdrawal penalties, and would unlock entrepreneurial capital. And people will self-fund their business. They wouldn't borrow from the SBA, they'd borrow from their credit cards, they'd borrow from themselves and values they've built in the cash value inside their whole life policies. Without begging who? Without begging banks. Banks saying, you're going to loan money from us based on our terms, these interest rates based on how we see you. No, you're now the bank. The banks trying to get your business. They don't feel entitled to your business. And a lot of business failures would stop because now they have cash reserves to fund the lack of capital they might have in their business. Through where? The value they have inside their whole life policies. Guess what else would surge? Minority-owned businesses would surge. Because guess what our country is developing more into? The minority will soon be the majority. So here's the impact if everybody life insurance. Here's the impact if everybody in America got a life insurance policy. Economic mobility skyrockets. Poor going to middle class going to higher net worth going to affluent going to millionaires going to billionaires. That's what would happen. And no good idea dies because of lack of funding. Last but not least, you know what happened if everybody in America got a life insurance policy? Banks, Wall Street, and politicians would hate it. Why? What happens if America wakes up and they're more financially literate and they wake up financially? They get it. They get that they're being scammed in this rigged economy. The banks would lose, the loans of banks, they would lose profits. Wall Street's, their 401ks, they can't control it no more. The politicians will lose tax leverage. You can't fight for your vote anymore because they're going to say they're going to give you stuff because you got it yourself. You don't need no politician to give you no damn benefits or create policy for your benefit because you benefited yourself. Insurance carriers would boom. I've got a video out here we'll share in the comment section. I got a video here about the history of life insurance and also the history of Black life insurance agents, how important that was in the growth of the life insurance industry in America that nobody talks about. We talked about it in this video. We'll share it with you in the comment section below. Or put it in the description. And guess what also happened? Families would gain freedom. They would gain freedom. They would gain liquidity. And the financial system would go to war against this shift. I promise you that. That's why there's no incentive for financial literacy in America. There's no incentive for people to get life insurance. Think about this. Banks force what? Car insurance and homeowners insurance. And some renters insurance for landlords. But life insurance, the key asset that actually funds this thing, no life insurance requirement. Kathy's on to something. Bottom line, if every American had properly structured permanent life insurance policy, there'd be less debt, there'd be more ownership, there'd be stronger families, there'd be real generational wealth, Business would have funding capital to start with the bigging banks. And here's the translation. This one strategy could force America to turn from consumer-driven to becoming ownership-driven. What a different America that would be. And if you want to find an environment like that, come to our event, Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey. November 12th, we're having that type of event. We're connecting guys that are owners. They don't want to be renters of their job and renters of their income. They want to rent their income from an employer. They're creating their own economy. They're creating friends and new associations and battle buddies rock with them. As I was sharing earlier, sometimes veterans and former athletes, they need that camaraderie. And you'll find it, I promise you, you're going to find it in business. And sometimes you feel alone, but you find a community, you feel now you have some shared vision, a shared goal, and same shared work ethic and standards you want to live your life. You can find it with guys and gals there in my Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey event, November 12th. We got people flying in from different cities and states to come to this event. I do it once a quarter. And by the recording of this video, tomorrow, the prices are going up. So make sure you go to my cigarswealthandwhiskey.com website. Get your tickets today. We got tickets at $147 general entry, premium tickets. We got VIP tickets at $247. We got an elite circle. So if you want to have lunch with me, you want a dinner with me, you want to smoke cigars specifically with me, there's only 10 of these tickets available. It's $997, but ticket prices go up here tomorrow. So make sure you get your tickets today if you're watching this live. Whew, I'm fired up about this topic. And as we wrap up, this guy's getting a haircut at the PX. Darian said this would be a good video for me to react to, knowing that we used to get haircuts at the PX at basically the department store of the military base, because inside the department store of the military, we call it a PX, BX, or post exchange. Well, sometimes guys get haircuts there versus getting their own barber, either in the barracks or out in town. So let's take a look at this military service member getting a haircut.
Beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of four.
Yep.
We've got...
I'm surprised that barber doesn't know how to cut.
Jet2 holiday.
Cut hair, man, especially working especially working in the barracks, or especially working in the PX, down the street from the barracks. But that's what happens, man, when you defer, right? When you don't know how to cut your own stuff. And by one of my buddies, he owns a company. He owns a company called the Self Cut System. You can buy this product at Walmart. You can buy it at Target, but it's basically 3 mirrors. If you buy these 3 mirrors, you can actually start cutting your hair by yourself. Filipino entrepreneur, hats off to him. But what'd you create here, bro? Yeah, that's fast. If you hadn't done it yet, man, go to iTunes, go to Spotify, download The Movement. That's our AI artist named Miljan. And the music we got going on there will help support your entrepreneurial drive. It'll feed you the right lyrics. How many of you guys know that subconsciously lyrics of music programs the way you see the world, because it changes the way you think, with things that you vibe to, the words that come out your mouth. This was inspired because my son, one day I was dropping off at school, and we had the radio on. This was years ago. And this is when I realized that music was very, very subtle and deadly. Because he's in the back, I think he's maybe 7 or 8 years old at the time. I'm dropping off at school, and I'm dropping off. He's singing a song. He's humming under his breath. He's singing the lyrics. It sounds like this. He goes, "You could hit it in the morning." Ariana Grande, right? You can hit it in the morning. Like, kid, what are you trying to hit? What are you talking about hitting in the morning? Do you exactly know what you're talking about, kid? No, Dad, just sound like a cool song on the radio. You can hit it in the morning. We all know what she was talking about in that song. But my 8-year-old son loves the rhythm, loves the beat, loves the sound, the melody, the bass, but programmed to say, you can hit it in the morning. That's when I knew we had to be careful of the music we listen to in the car. Because I'm programming my children, myself, how to think about the world, how to see the world, how to talk about the world, and get the results from that talk, think, see, all in one full scoop based on the music we listen to. So I encourage you, make sure you download The Movement. Tell me what your favorite song is. We did a music video to Sorry during Life Insurance Awareness Month. We played it in front of the MGM Grand crowd at our national convention. We had tears, people just sobbing, and very emotional when they saw the music video, because it was the first time ever in the history of the life insurance industry somebody made a music video about the importance of purchasing life insurance called Sorry. So we'll put it in the comment section here too as well. So that being said, guys, as I wrap up, I'm excited for you. There's so many things in America that may be pressing against you, but I promise you, if you're the person that takes advance notice, that starts moving, that's proactive in expanding their skills, their capacity, their network, I promise you, you'll never not find an opportunity if you process those three things every day, every week, every year of your life. I've been doing this now since I was 22, 23 years old. I don't have a college degree, don't have a master's, don't have a PhD, don't have any special network, didn't have any rich friends, rich family members, or family immigrated here from the Philippines. But because somebody exposed me to the world of entrepreneurship, exposed me to want to get better. When I was in the military, I want to get promoted. I want to get meritorious Lance Corporal, meritorious Corporal, meritorious. I got those meritorious promotions. I didn't realize I was wiring myself for entrepreneurship. That if you go out there and you prepare and you execute, you get so much further ahead than somebody that reads, does nothing. Praise, but no action. If a person out there prepares, prays, take action, boom, you can be light years ahead of somebody that takes 1, 2, 3, 4 years to get it in gear. And that's why we do these Millionaire Responds at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays. And we're very excited to build this community and how we're seeing the world, because I don't want you to get jaded. If you're out there death scrolling, don't get jaded by what you see out there. There is hope. When you see chaos, run towards it. Find a solution. Find a way to fix that problem. Help people's lives become better. A way for you to become invaluable. You'll always find opportunity for the rest of your life. That's the moral, there's the value, there's the principle I abide by, and it's worked for me the last 26 years. And it's gotten us the results we've had. Over 10,000 clients we've had this year so far, over $30 million in bids we've done so far this year. Over 1,400 new licensed agents come through our doors, brand new, starting their career based on this premise. And if it can happen to me, boom, it can happen to you. That being said, guys, please put your biggest takeaway in the comment section below. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe here to the 7 Figure Squad YouTube channel. And also every Sundays, a faith and finance topic is going up to help you combine both your faith and your finance together. And every Wednesday here, we have some form of teaching topic in terms of increasing your financial literacy. Tomorrow, I believe we're releasing a term versus permanent insurance. You'll get asked that question all the time. Matt, what's the best for me, term insurance or permanent insurance? Here's about them. Here, I'll cut to the chase. What's the answer? It's both, but it depends on your situation. You'll find out how by tomorrow. And by the way, we have a worksheet for people to download, right? We have a worksheet. If you watch that video tomorrow, we'll release it at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll release it so you can get access not only to the video, but also the worksheets you can access by going to our website to download the free PDF to teach you on how to take care of the needs, expose the needs you have for life insurance, and how to take care of them too as well. That being said, from Dallas, Texas, I'm your money smart guy. Please put your biggest takeaway in the comment section below. And until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today. God bless you guys. Bye-bye. See you next week. The biggest risk is never owning a home, but actually owning one and losing everything when life hits.
Look at this roller coaster over the last several months.
7.09. Another major insurance hike. The state just announced it's allowing National Association of Realtors.
Right now, mortgage rates are near 7%. Homeowners insurance premiums are spiking. And Trump's new tax bill, it's shaking up home ownership, taxes, and retirement planning, just depending on how prepared you are. Keep the keys isn't about politics. It's about protection. For homeowners, for future buyers, and for the professionals who serve them. Inside this book, I reveal 7 practical financial strategies I've used with my clients over the last 26 years to and through the Great Recession. It's helped shield families from foreclosure using living benefits, using annuities to replace mortgage payments in retirement, and helping realtors and loan officers create cash flow in between closings and to stay top of mind long after the deal is done. This isn't fluff. It's not theory. It's real strategy I've used during real moments during one of America's toughest times in its history. It's your financial blueprint to protect a dream that you've worked so hard to build. So whether you're renting, owning, selling, investing, or advising others on real estate, don't just chase closings or equity. Go get your copy of Keep the Keys, because it's one thing to get the keys, but it takes strategy to keep them.